down solutions. And I hope that that's come through. We've seen and heard from a lot of information, a lot of people who have brought a lot of information. It's now time to hear from you. So we're going to have some folks walking through the aisles, and we want to hear ideas from the audience on how we can make this community better. We've heard about, just to remind you, we've heard about the road Interact kids that walked to the Burney Creek and cleaned it up. I know that there's been an effort where people have gone out into the forest and picked up garbage. I know that there has been a lot of programs, but there's a lot of work to do yet. And there's ideas that don't necessarily need to come from the front of the room, they can come throughout. So if you have an idea or a suggestion, something that you think might be really cool, or if you just want to give the support to some of the people that you've heard here tonight, then they would probably appreciate that. I see a hand in the back. Hand in the back.
This gentleman right here is willing to give one of his buildings in order to house homeless people right now. So that we would have, you guys be able to check in at 7 or 8 o'clock at night.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. And then we got like, 7 or 8 in the morning. And he's willing to do that for $1 a month. Oh, I hear.
Can you hold the mic just a little closer?
We couldn't hear what you were saying.
Okay.
Excuse me, I have a building that's at 3700 block of Main. Well, most of you know it as the old Sportsman building. I currently allow the library people to sell books and things there, but that's only in the end portion of the building. The part that I spent about $80,000 fixing up needs another $250,000 in work in order to bring it up to current codes. But there's 5,000 square feet that I will make available for $1 a year if the community is willing to, just fix it up.
Thank you very much.
And also the Pitt River Tribe would like to involve both the community and the Pitt River Tribe.
So if the community is willing to invest, then you're willing to provide?
Yes, that's correct, yes, thank you.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Could you leave your information with someone at the table back there so we have some way of contacting you?
Yes, you bet.
Thank you.
We have a hand in the front of the room right now. Go back.
We forgot to ask for you guys' support. We needed some donations, and that's all I have to say. We're looking for toilets, shower stalls, ceiling, exhaust for like the bathroom, the fan, the vanity light, tile, handle for the shower, and 2 handle faucets for the sink.
Now, a lot of times people are a little hesitant to give money, but if you've got some of this stuff that you can give to this project, it'll help them a lot.
Chief,
Yeah.
could you tell them that they'll have an opportunity to identify themselves?
We also ask that you identify yourself as you stand up, and as you present these ideas, we're going to capture them, put them on the wall. If you're interested in hearing more about them, please write your name underneath the idea, and we will send you an email or a phone call. We will be respectful with your information and not share it.
Hi, my name is Ray Carolino. I was wondering, how much do you guys need to meet your goal?
As of right now, we probably need at least $6,000 still, because the washer and dryer, both of them were $8,000, which are not $8,000, $800. And they're very big. They're like the whole house. And then we also got the demo crew donated to us, and around that's like $4,000 with the washer and the demo crew also. So we're still like $6,000 short.
Right here in front of you, Jen.
Hi, my name is Shelley. I'm actually kind of representing Little Country Church of MacArthur. I'd kind of like to see, I think it's awesome what they are doing because they're getting the church involved too. And I would like to see the churches of the valley involved more because we do have the answer.
Thank you. Faith-based solutions really do last a lot longer and they cost a whole lot less. Thank you. Anybody else? Over here.
My name is Daniel Keneally. I moved here about a year and a half ago, and beautiful house, beautiful view. Behind me there was an abandoned house, and I dealt with it for about a year with having transients, homeless, hobos, whatever you call it, come in there. And Dave, I came home from the hospital with my newborn baby, who was in the NICU for three months. Somebody back there high on meth saying they're ISIS, Hitler, all the above. You know who if they were, they'd probably had that person killed. There was no met their expectations. But I had the house torn down recently. So if there are homes that are abandoned, this house was abandoned since the 70s. It is possible to file a complaint with the city, code enforcement, and depending on how dilapidated the house is, you can have it torn down. Just wanted to add that in there too.
That's a good solution. Can I kind of piggyback on that? I was recently approached by someone who said they own a derelict house and they just can't afford to batten it up. There are a lot of risks involved in people getting in, especially as it gets colder with people starting fires in the houses. The Burney Fire District will provide labor if you provide the lumber, and we will help you secure your homes if you have a derelict building that needs it. Anybody else? We have two.
Alex?
I know that this is a tough one for a lot of people, but I liked what Daniel said about going and meeting the people. So you get to know them one-on-one, and you have that experience of seeing the divergence, and that some of them are really nice people, good people, who need a hand up. And personally, I just feel like when I was working with PCT hikers, I had a lady tell me, I've got a house with 5 bedrooms in it that I live in by myself. Any PCT hiker who needs a place to stay is welcome to stay there. Now, I know that you put yourself really out on a limb when you do this, but I'm challenging people that if you do have room in your house, and you meet people, and there's somebody who's down and out and just needs a helping hand for a while, let them stay in your house.
Hi, I'm Robin Katie, yes, Monty's other half, and I've been on a board with the Friends of the Children in Klamath Falls. It's quite a program. It may not be a program we can do here, but through that mentoring program, we have cut down on teenagers and pregnancy. That we had a 98% graduation, 98% of kids that did not have kids, that came from families that did have kids as teenagers. So the mentoring program will help graduation drop the drug program. It gives them somebody to talk to, and it also affects that family too. Sometimes you can reach them and help too. So, you know, if you got that extra hour a week, I really recommend helping out women.
I'm Sally Armstrong, and I'm with the Rotary Club. I'll piggyback on what Robin said. We, in Rotary, 3 years ago, started a mentoring program in the elementary schools. We work with first, second, and third graders every day, one day a week. And so we are working with the young ones, trying to get them on a good road. Maybe you could pick up the mentoring at the next step.
And I've been a part of that program, and I promise I will again. I missed today, I'm sorry.
My name is Tanaka Vaught. I attended the last meeting that we had here. We had probably tons of people up in arms about the dirt, the garbage, everything at the creek. I organized a cleanup at the creek, and I had probably 50 people who were gung-ho to help. And when it came down to cleaning up the creek, we had, I would say, 11 people show up. So my suggestion is, you can complain all you want, but if you're not willing to step up and volunteer for some of these things, then you're part of the problem in this community. We need to step up and take our community back and be strong and help and volunteer. That's what we need to do to get our community back.
Over here.
I'm Jennifer Luck, and listening to this here about helping other people out, you know, every single one of us has been in need at some point in time in our life. Doesn't matter whether you have a job or not, everybody needs something at some point. Being middle class, you know, there's services out there that help people out. I don't qualify for any of those because I'm middle class. So if, let's say for instance, next week my refrigerator goes out, I don't have the money to buy a refrigerator. You got a refrigerator sitting around that's not being used. Your community is part of your family. So if you've got a bike that's been sitting out in your shed that's not being used, there's a kid in this community that could use it. There's a Facebook site that was started by Mrs. Estes over here. It's called Pay It Forward. This is a really good media that we could use to help people in our community. You help somebody now, somebody else is going to help you later. Just an idea.
So that's Pay It Forward. It's a Facebook page where I can post all of my things that I don't need anymore, and someone might say, hey, yeah, I'll take that because I really do need that.
You could even put out there the in search of.
Okay,
you know.
yeah. Good to know. Is there anybody else that has an idea tonight? Right here.
Yeah, I got quite a list, and I didn't want to cut anybody off, so I got to wait till the last. But anyway, I'm Fred Reines, and I've lived in Burney since probably '74, and I taught school here for 17 years, and then I was a forester for 20 years after that, and I've done just about everything a guy can do, I think, that I want to do, except I'm the old fat guy you see running from Johnson Park and back. Anyway, I'm on a quest to set the world record for 70-year-olds in the marathon, so that's why I shake the earth when I come by. But at any rate, I went by and saw Cindy today because I knew she was coming tonight, and I knew she was very much a part of it. And Mr. Lockwood works over there, and I know him quite well. He's worked for me in the past. So anyway, I have a friend of mine, a good friend of mine, that's on the city council of Anderson. And as Anderson has stepped up to the plate and collecting more taxes so they can have more law enforcement. And Stanley's on there. He'll be the mayor of Anderson someday. Anyway, he says what we really need is more law enforcement, and I think he's probably right. And we need more law enforcement. We need more halfway houses where we can take people because there's not enough. And the Crystal Creek, I think, has been shut down, and that needs to be reopened, in my opinion. And we need to address these folks that are in the prison system. Last time I was here, I complained about, to the sheriff that was here, I complained about the fact that we had, on my street that I live on at Burney,
We're looking for solutions tonight.
Anyway, so the solution is, I think, to increase taxes. Nobody wants to have increased taxes, but if we're going to get law enforcement, that's the only way we're going to do it. Anderson has stepped up to the plate, and they're doing it, and their crime rate has gone down. And there's a lot of homeless looking around, and other people that aren't really homeless. They're drug ridden, and they're hanging out with the homeless because they can take advantage of them a lot of times. A lot of those people down in Burney Creek were that way. A friend of mine had his own little patrol thing, and he was going down there all the time. And these kids are taking baths in the creek, and these other guys are taking advantage of the women the girls that are down there.
Solutions?
The solution is we need to we need to step up the plate like Anderson and have a tax increase, and so we can have more law enforcement here to address those issues. In my opinion also, I've been a forester for over 50 years, and I am working for the Forest Service now, and I've worked for all the forest agencies and private and government agencies. I've worked for CAL FIRE. I work for the Forest Service now. And in my opinion, there are gobs of trees out in the forest that need to be addressed. We have more stems per acre than we ever need. It needs to be thinned out, and if we thinned it out, in my opinion, we could have 2 more sawmills in Burney and 2 more cogen plants. That's how much material there is in the forest that needs to be addressed. And I ran for county supervisor some time ago, but anyway, I'm on the state board for special districts, and anyway, I have taken a angle gauge over to Doug Lamoffo was in Susanville here a few months ago, and I went over there to tie in with him and give him an angle gauge to give to Mr. President Trump. And if I can get him over here and get him on a Forest Service pickup, I could show him where we fireproof the forest. We don't need to be burning up all the forest. It's not rocket science, because I wouldn't have it figured out, and I'm not the only one that has it figured out. There's other people in this district that know about it.
We're looking for homeless solutions.
And I'm all for fixing, but we need to give them jobs, and that's what. And Trump is slamming jobs all the time. And if I can get him over here, get him in a pickup, I can show him how we can do just what I said. We can have 2 more sawmills and 2 more cogen plants right here in Burney, and all the other communities in the general area can have the same thing. There's that many stems per acre that need to be addressed. We have way too many stems per acre, and if we'll thin it out, we create jobs, and these people go to work, and they won't. And those jobs in the mill are good jobs. We have a lot of people working in our mills here that retire, and so that's what we need to do. Anyway, if anyone wants to tie in with me, I'll be glad to. And I'm part of the co-op group that meets here. I've been involved with it since it started, and we take foodstuffs from Safeway. It gives us all these foodstuffs, and we give them out to the folks. And we've been involved with that, and that's been a very good community situation. And that's a multi-church effort, and all the churches are involved in that in our area here. So we give that out to folks too. But anyway, enough said. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Over here.
Yes, I'm Buck Buchanan. I grew up in Burney, graduated from Fall River High School in 1954, left and was gone for about 50 years and came back to Burney. So I love the place, and for a lot of reasons. And I'm encouraged by really what I've heard tonight, some very practical things, some very tangible, hands-on kinds of situations. And I was just thinking, I was sitting there, and I thought, well, what do I believe, and where's my hope? And to me, the encouragement is what we have to work with. We have some great people and some good ideas to work with. And I think we have the attitude, we just have to put it to practice. Because I think before we do anything, there's got to be some kind of a motivation to say, you know, we don't have all the answers, but we're going to sit on our butt and do nothing. And we have some great opportunities. Every time I go out of town and see City Dog and her staff and the things they put on that out there by the highway, it just lifts my spirit. That's what I mean, is that kind of thing. And I think that is in Burney. And I just hope that we will kind of catch the idea. And, one of the things in my basic outlook on life and the way I see things is it's not just what you do, but it's starting with gratitude of what you have. Because we can say it and we can dream and all that, but it's what we do with what we have. And folks, I really do believe we have what it takes to take the next step in Burney. And we have enough people here, not just to sign up, and like our friend right here said, what you said was not just a bunch of people saying, I'll do it, and a third of them showing up. It's saying, I really am going to put to practice The other thing that's to me so very important, faith, hope, and love. That comes from our hearts, and that gets into our feet, and that says good job and thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you. Go ahead. Go ahead.
My name is Ross Jones. I live in Fall River Mills. First off, I am diametrically opposed to all taxes. More importantly, I am pro-law enforcement. And so I strongly, from personal experience, recommend that you contact Mr. Armstrong and join the CBP. Simply driving through a problem area can work wonders on it. It doesn't require confrontation. Matter of fact, it is opposed to confrontation. But simply being there and being seen makes a world of difference.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
I'm Bob Boyce. I've been a member of the community for going on 13 years. I'm active in community service organizations, and I know from my own experience that everybody in this room is community oriented, and you all come together and give when giving needs to be done. I don't think there's anybody in here that wants to put anybody down, including the ones that are out there in the forest. We know that from our conversation tonight, some of these guys are hardcore drug addicts that don't really care about getting out of that situation. For those people, I think we need to rejuvenate Neighborhood Watch. We need to get signs up on our buildings and in our homes saying we're part of Neighborhood Watch. We need to keep our eyes open, ears open. If we see things that are wrong, we need to get it reported. And we need, as a community watch perhaps, to fold it into an organization that meets on a regular basis to deal with the other issues. We talk about homeless people and the ones that want to get out of their situation and get a job. If you've been homeless, you don't have a telephone where a prospective employer can respond to your application. You don't have access to the internet, or to Facebook, for example, on the internet, to take advantage of some of the things that have been discussed here tonight. These are things that we can provide as a community in some location to help these people. Getting the churches involved, I think, is a great idea. To these two guys who are working on proactively providing services to homeless who want to get out of their situation and need a place to clean up, take care of their clothes, I think that is fantastic. And they should be congratulated for that idea. We can be proactive in dealing with this. It's not up to law enforcement to solve our social problems. It's up to law enforcement to deal with drug addiction because that's a crime. If people don't want to get out of it, they need to deal with it. But for the rest of these issues, we need to deal with them as a community. And we need to form some kind of a community task force to really delve into the issues and try and determine how we can help some of these guys get social help, counseling, jobs, job opportunities, and get out of the situation they're in, because it's our responsibility, they're part of our community, it's our responsibility to bring them into the fold.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We have a hand up in the back. While you're going back there, can I share a story real quick from my experience? I wasn't in Burney probably a month and a half. At one of our volunteer trainings, one of the volunteers wasn't there because his mother-in-law was sick and in the hospital. And I told him, I said, hey, so-and-so's not gonna be here because grandma's in the hospital. And I knew I was in the right place for me when the 18-year-old volunteer said, yeah, I know, we're all praying for him. Right? I still get goosebumps when I tell the story.
Okay, well, to address this gentleman right here, I can speak on the Native American community. It is really, we have elder people who are living at the creek bed because of their kids and their grandkids. So it's not so much that they want to be homeless or that they've lost their jobs, but because of their kids. Because who's going to turn away their kids, right? And they went in, they've destroyed their homes, they got them kicked out. So we can't really frown upon them. I'm speaking on the Native American community because I'm full-blooded Native American. I'm pure urban crew. And this is why this gentleman right here, when he offered his place, I was like, we were just talking about that. Like, it would be nice to have, he's gonna donate his building in order to have people come in there and sleep so they don't freeze to death in the winter. And I don't care about the younger ones, I care about the elders who are living on the creek bed because of their ones that they let in their house. It's terrible, but you know, to this gentleman right here, it's not so much that, you know, they're dysfunctioning people or they're addicts or whatever. It's because of their family members, pretty much.
It's a complex issue with lots of reasons, and I appreciate that input. And also, I'll share with you that, unfortunately, bad kids are not just a Native American problem. Over here in the back.
My name is Bruce Parrish, and I'm with the Fall River Citizens Patrol. And some of the things we run into is you guys, the people, the public, come to us and say, we have this problem, our gas is being stolen, but different things are going on, and you need to call the sheriff's department and let them know, because then we try to take care of it, then we have to call in. But if you call in more and get more active with it, then you'll probably get some more deputies there where they see that there's a need for it. You see, where we called in on a thing the other night, and it went on and nothing. So then the citizens started calling in, and all of a sudden the deputies came out and took care of the problem. So we really need you guys as not only to tell us what's going on, but so to let the deputies know themselves so that they can get out there to help you. It's like they said, a big family, you know. We got to help take care of each other.
Thank you. Right.
My name's Carmen. I live on Sugar Pine, and I've had issues with garbage next door to my house. My fiance actually ended up building a fence, and the issue was trying to get a hold of SOs. I would call down in Reading, and they would give me a number, or they would actually have dispatch call one of you guys out. Not just the garbage has been an issue, but drug issues, because I'm constantly dealing with people trafficking in and out throughout the night, waking up, my dog's barking like crazy. So in the middle of the night, if something happens, who do we call? Is it Reading office? Because there's not a Burney office number that we can call.
There is a phone number that's on the front door of our station. I'm sure we can get with Walt or somebody to try to repost it in one of the local newspapers. Not Walt, but Craig. But there is a non-emergency line that they can call. I don't know who anybody's calling to talk to in Reading, but the dispatch center's in Reading, and then they call us.
Yeah, that's what I've been told when I've called a few times. It's just that the drug issue is such an issue. On my street alone, it's scary because I have kids and there's other kids that live there, but it doesn't seem like it's fast enough when people get there. But I know that you guys are off, patrolling everywhere, but I was just curious on if there was an actual new number, because we even went online, my coworker and I, and the number that was on for the Burney site was no longer working.
Yeah, I agree with that, because
I did a lot of.
Can we get a mic for you real quick?
Backdoor office line? Okay. Because we have a backdoor office line, and I try to ask people where they call, where they, how'd they get this number, and then they say, well, they got it through Reading or whatever, but they're calling our backdoor number. So I think we just need to, we need to republish that number in the local paper or do something. So you can call the non-emergency line, which, if anybody remembers, 245-6540, but we'll figure out something else better. And then, of course, if it's an emergency, obviously call 911. So, that answer your question?
That's perfect, and I think that is the point. That if it is an emergency and you are in fear or you see a crime, call 911.
And if worst case scenario and you get frustrated and you can't find a number, just call 911.
Okay?
Okay, I'm sitting here listening to everybody that's all excited and enthused about helping. Why don't we set up a volunteer bank with people's names and numbers through the chamber or the community center? And when we have these projects, when we want to do cleanup in the town, Jill and I have people to call. So we don't have any people or resources ever to call. So if we had people's names and numbers, look what we could get done.
Sally, that's a great idea. And what our intention is at the end of the evening, and I'm not even sure what time it is and how close that is.
It's about 20 minutes away.
Okay. As we adjourn tonight, we're asking anyone that has any interest in any of the topics that came up tonight to come and sign a sign-in sheet so we have that information. We're going to, those of us at Tri-County Community Network at the Community Center want to help convene those people that have an interest in the specific topics. So we just will help you get together and give you room to meet if you need that. But so, for example, if you're interested in helping Dante and Bailey with their project, there's a sheet over here. If you write down your information, they will contact you. I will put together just a general volunteer sheet here because I know that either the encampment cleanups, the Burney beautification cleanups, all of that would be wonderful to find people that we have not yet met or worked with that would be interested in contributing, every now and then in a community project.
I have a quick thing. Does anybody know what 211 is? Have you heard of 211?
Good point.
Can you expand on that, or shall I attempt to? 211, it's kind of like 411. If you need assistance with certain things, you don't know who to call or what department in the county to contact. If it might be child services, it might be animal control, it might be trash-related issues. We have a resource. Dial 211. They will get you to the people you need to talk to. It's just a really great tool. So.
This has been an amazing night. Would you agree?
Yes.
Go ahead. There's a couple of things that I want to recap, and then there's a thing that you can do tonight to help us out. Number one, I want to remind us of what's called the Pygmalion effect. Okay? If you expect a lot, you can increase people's performance. Don't expect garbage, or the Gollum effect comes in and they'll not disappoint you there either. Hold people accountable. Well, I don't have any authority. No, but you have an expectation, and that's been scientifically proven to make a difference. We know that those 20% that Mr. Perito identified probably aren't going to be affected by how you feel. Don't let that hurt your feelings. Okay? If they're doing something wrong, call law enforcement. And finally, this is where I want to be. This is where I will continue to hold the line for decency. There was a time in the history where men were berated if they didn't tip their hats to the women when they passed them on the street. But there was a time when women act like women.
What do you
you saying, Chief?
I'm saying I think it's not just one side or the other. I'm probably going to be beat up outside for saying what I said. Did we just lose the whole night? So what I would reiterate is, if you are interested in anything you've heard tonight, please sign up. Put your name in, put your email, put your contact information. And I told you that there was a thing you can do tonight to help. And that is, I need you guys to stack your chairs in the middle of the room. One more. Okay, go ahead.
Really quickly, it occurred to me, my name is Denise Lenti, I'm the director of the children's program at the community center. I'm one of Cindy's people. And it occurred to me that people don't realize what we have going on in that building. We have a senior center that makes lunches for seniors. There's job skills, job helps. There's a food program once a month.
Once a week.
Once a week that you sit through a class and you get a $25 gift card. There's help with mental health. Shailene and Guadalupe do triple P parenting upstairs. Our kids are our best assets, and those are who are going to be taking care of us in the future. So if we take care of them now, that's going to increase our odds of having an amazing community. So I feel like if we invest in our kids, Little League is always looking for volunteers. The high school, you know, I see a lot of coaches out here that coach at the high school. We're constantly looking for people to help out there. Invest in the children in this community, and I feel like it's gonna increase.
Thank you. One more quick comment to Fred Ritus and someone else mentioned about the jobs. I do the jobs list in town, and I publish on Facebook, and we have it at the community center. We average about 70 to 90 jobs every month in Burney, so it's not a lot, but there are jobs. We have more jobs than people looking for jobs. So don't get duped into thinking that there are no jobs available. There are, and there's entry level and highly skilled and everything in between. So we do have more than some people are aware of.
So what I would like you to do is stand up, turn to your neighbor and say, I'm glad you came, stack your chairs and sign up.